Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Magnifique with me, your host, Gabrielle Forshe. How are we doing? What are you up to? How was your weekend? Give me the whole rundown. But if you don't mind, first, I'm going to give you the rundown of my weekend, and then we'll have a moment of silence for you to tell me everything. I want to hear everything you did, how many drinks you had, who you slept with. Give me the gossip. But first, let me tell you about how I almost died in my garden this weekend. So you know that I've kind of been in my gardening era, figuratively and literally. So in my literal garden, I have my rose plants that I needed to plant. I ordered 4. I ordered 2 climbing roses and 2 shrub roses. The shrub roses came in on Thursday. However, on Thursday, we had Wizard of Oz-like weather with tornadoes and hail and just general storming, so I couldn't plant them then. So I went ahead and planted them this weekend. When I did, though, and I'm still waiting on my climbing roses, which I'm so excited about. I can't wait for 5 years from now. My climbing roses have fully developed. It's on this large, tall trellis so that it's a full rose wall. That is my vision for the climbing roses. And if it doesn't happen, I will jump off a bridge. Dramatic? No. Anyway, so I planted my 2 white shrub roses. They're English roses. Okay, I'm going to go on a rose tangent, if you don't mind, please. So I got all my roses from David Austin Roses, and they were just the one I found on TikTok with the most reviews, and the roses looked really pretty on the TikToks that I watched. So I got them from David Austin Roses. I ordered them a month ago, and they are supposed to ship when my zone is ready for them. Fair, fine, whatever. This isn't really a rant. This is just me giving you details on them because I'm really hyperfixated on these gosh dang roses, and they weren't cheap. Let's talk about that because I ordered 2 for $35 each. Why did the total come out to nearly $100 both times? So 4 roses set me back $200 plus all of the soil and the mulch and the rose food. And these aren't my only plants that I'm having in my garden. So I'm going to need to have a garden party. That's all I want in my life ever is a garden party. I know what I'm doing this summer. I'm going to invite everybody over in their best garden dress. There will be a dress code. So if you're hearing this and you're like, I could see myself getting invited to that, get your best garden dress or garden fit, garden suit and tie. This is a garden party and you have to dress to impress. Oh, I'm planning this in my head right now and I'm really excited about it and it's not even happening yet. Wow, 4 minutes of me rambling about a freaking garden. And that was just the first 2 bullet points of my garden point. Because I have my main point and then I have... You don't care that much. Okay. So I have my 2 shrub roses in the garden right now. But I also chaos gardened some seeds. Just random seeds that I had that might aid the roses. So just companion plants. But with the roses, I threw random hollyhock seeds in there. And I threw just another random seed packet in there that I got from the farm store. I don't remember what the flower was called, but it's an annual and it looked really pretty. So here's to hoping. The really pretty one said so easy, S-O-W, so easy. So I'm hoping they aren't lying. But I have such a newfound respect for farmers and gardeners in general because this is the first year that I've gardened. My body hurts today, and I did it yesterday, so I'm just now feeling the effects. My biceps have never felt stronger. My legs and quads feel so sore from just bending and throwing grass patches. Part of my backyard is full of grass because of me just throwing the part that I don't know what to do with it. It's just in a pile. The birds like it because it has all the worms. I'm sorry, this is a fashion podcast. Let me zoot through these intro bullet points. Oh, yeah, I almost died in my garden because one of them decided to thorn me. One of them thorned me, and I do feel like that's kind of my initiation into being a rose owner, but it hurt, and I have a battle wound. It's so small, and if I don't point it out, you probably wouldn't even notice. But it happened, and I was like, gosh dang. That is my initiation ceremony. So that is that. I also have gnomes. I love gnomes. I love little gnomes. I love gnomes. I think they're the cutest thing, and it's kind of like it's people's flamingos. People either love or hate flamingos in their yard. I hate flamingos, but I love gnomes, and I love gnomes whose hats cover their eyes, but they have the fattest little nose. I love gnomes. Anyway, I got 2 gnomes for my little garden space. I have one that's a yellow hat guy who has a butterfly on his nose and he's just staring at it. And then I have another red hat guy. It's 3 red hat guys with a welcome sign. And I love it. It's so cute. I think when I expand the garden, I'll move the red hat guy just so they're not in the same bed. But who's to say? I also think that I've earned my overalls. I didn't buy my overalls because I feel like I need to earn them. I saw them at the farm store. So I live in the burbs. And by the burbs, I mean nearly the country, which hurts my soul, but I do have a farm store 5 minutes from my house. So that I don't mind. But at the farm store, they have I went to the farm store yesterday and they had chicks, little baby chickens. I don't plan on ever having chickens in my backyard, but if I did, I would cuddle the chickens, the little chicks, but I only think they're cute when they're chicks. I don't think that chickens are cute. Regular chickens scare me, and I don't blame you for eating chickens. I'm a vegetarian, but they are ugly enough that I don't really blame you for eating chickens. But chicks are really cute. Oh, so I didn't get my overalls, but I do think that I've earned them due to my battle scar from being thorned and my sore, aching muscles which means I should be rewarded with overalls. But I'm so excited about my garden to see how it turns out in the summer once everything is established. Maybe it'll take longer than the summer to get established, but I'm really excited and I'm really hopeful. I have my red roses coming in, and then I have a blueberry bush coming in, and then I have lots of just random seeds that I can chaos garden, and I'm probably going to see this farm store again for some more plants, but who's to say really at this point? It's kind of just, if it happens, it happens. Also, this past week, I have just been more and more obsessed with my favorite albums, so I'm just needing to pour my heart out and discuss my 2 favorite albums with you. They both make my brain literally shut up. My brain goes full stop, and that's a quality of a good album. It's usually just like 1 or 2 songs that do it for me, make my brain stop, but right now it's 2 full-length albums. Couple skips, but not... Couple skips, yeah. First one is Eternal Sunshine by Ariana. It sounds like 2019. It sounds the way I felt in 2019. 2019 was, up until last year, my favorite year ever. And 2019 was like my hard Ariana phase. Thank You Next came out. We were digesting Sweetener. It was incredible. And both albums, Eternal Sunshine and 2019 Ari, it's just banger after banger after banger. And it makes me want to be a bad biatch. Without the home wrecking, of course. That part I can live without. But you can't make me hate Ariana Grande. If rappers with DV and SA charges still have a flourishing career, I think Miss Ponytail can have a career. Home wrecking or not, you know? Taylor Swift has cheated. Harry Styles has cheated. Basically, everyone has cheated in Hollywood, which is not fun. It's not good on their character, but it doesn't negate their bangers. I've also decided and come to the realization that I'm not good at describing things. I just told you that Eternal Sunshine sounds like 2019. How are you supposed to know what that sounds like? But I think this is because I often associate sounds, vibes, scents, general music with very specific periods and things and moments. So it's hard for me to like get you an objective analysis based on feelings. Fair. That doesn't really make sense anyway. My words just came out of my mouth there, but odds are if I'm describing something to you without the use of very niche moments, I'm either lying by pulling adjectives out of the air, seeing what sticks, or I did extensive research before bringing the topic up, so I know exactly what to say and I'm prepared and there was a script in my head so that I could just word vomit it to you and it sounds natural. But really, I didn't know what that sounded like, smelled like, or tasted like until I Googled it. And even then, not from personal experience. I love that I'm making myself sound so reliable for brand sponsors right now. I sound like such a good salesman by admitting that I'm lying to you. So that's so fun for me. But at least I know myself. In reality, no one knows anything. It really upsets me that I don't know everything about the human body when my brain most definitely knows everything about the human body. She's keeping me alive and she's controlling everything, but she can't tell me about what's happening in my body. Thanks so much for that. Thanks so much. You guys forgot to tell me. Oh, sorry, my second favorite album. My second favorite album right now. I completely forgot we were talking about albums. My second favorite album, and as I'm saying this, I'm kind of piecing together why I like both, but let's talk about Calico by Ryan Beatty. Homeboy was like a YouTube heartthrob in the Austin Mahone Cimarelli era. I met him in, I don't remember, I was a tween. I was maybe like 12. But he signed my now donated hoodie, so that's so fun for me. I should have kept it and sold it, but was in a Goodwill. But the album is so beautiful, lyrically and in production. Lots and lots of harmonies, which I think is why I like both albums. They're both so incredibly vulnerable, which I enjoy. The way I like Ariana's is more of a I could do anything sort of vibe. Ryan Beatty's is more of a I'm just going to sit here and empty out my brain and relax. Nothing's happening in this brain. It's actually completely empty and I'm just in a field of clouds. I know how that sounds. But I found it like a couple months ago and I haven't stopped listening to it, and it's probably going to be on my Spotify Wrapped, if I'm lucky. There's no good segue. Maybe there is. I'm just not good at segues. But everyone and their mom has plastic surgery. You know somebody who has plastic surgery. You know someone who knows somebody who has plastic surgery. Today, we're talking about cosmetic surgery and plastic surgery and what it means, who has what, and why. I don't have plastic surgery. I haven't considered plastic. One time, I think I have considered lip filler back in high school because that's when it was really poppin', or really starting to become poppin', and I was like, what would that look like? Now I think I'm chillin'. I'm pretty much chillin'. But I empower people to do what makes them happy. So for the purposes of this episode, I'm going to just call it cosmetic surgery. Cosmetic surgery is a typically elective procedure that is not just about vanity like some may assume. I assumed that prior to this research. But they can boost self-esteem, correct bodily anomalies, or address the physical aftermath of accidents. It could be something like changing the shape of one's body, adding or removing hair, or just generally smoothing wrinkles. Each procedure is a personal journey toward a desired aesthetic goal. Each procedure is unique, each procedure is different, each procedure is that person's business. That being said, the cosmetic surgery category is a large spectrum from, oh, I didn't know that was CS, cosmetic surgery, or didn't consider that, but totally makes sense, all the way to, yeah, literally no duh, that's plastic surgery. We see things like skin resurfacing, which can rejuvenate the skin or face, making it appear more youthful or vibrant. It's a process that many might not be aware of, but once you kind of think about it, you're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Or there's like chemical peels or facelifts, procedures that almost become synonymous with the concept of cosmetic surgery. These are the interventions that can often lead to the most noticeable anti-aging procedures. Before moving through the process of getting cosmetic surgery, it's crucial to understand the risks involved. Go ahead and question yourself and think about, could my surgery be botched? Is there a risk to my life? Who's to say? It's a complicated journey. But while these complications are rare, they are a reality that must be acknowledged and planned for. A significant part of the preparation involves having a plan for the healing process. This includes understanding how long it's going to take to recover, often knowing what's off limits, what can and can't you do, and determining if you need a caretaker. Who's going to be a caretaker? Who's going to be at your beck and call during the entire recovery process? Some procedures require their patients to stabilize their weight for at least 6 months beforehand. Is that something that's realistic for you? All of these are commitments and things that need to be carefully considered before undergoing surgery. Also, it's going to be really important to follow medical instructions for prescriptions, antibiotics, pain management, all of the above. Are pain pills something that you can handle? Is that something that you'd like to stay away from? Is this procedure something that you can take without pain medication? That needs to be considered as well. Cosmetic surgery requiring general anesthesia or IV sedation are performed in a hospital under the care of an anesthesiologist, but procedures like injections, Botox are performed in an outpatient setting in a physician's office with local anesthesia. So that is kind of the gist, but what are the risks? This is kind of getting scary. This portion of my research is mainly pulled from Mayo Clinic to ease your plagiarism concerns. Most of this is bullet points pulled from there, but also my thoughts. So let's talk about this. So the first risk is possible complications related to anesthesia, including pneumonia, blood clots, and death. If you have a bad reaction to the anesthesia, you could die. You could also get an infection at the incision site, which may just worsen scarring, but could also require an additional surgery. You could get fluid buildup under the skin, which sounds actually so atrocious and makes my skin kind of feel really weird. Yeah, don't like that. Or you could have some abnormal scarring due to skin breakdown. You could have separation of the surgical wound, numbness, nerve damage. These are all serious risks that should be heavily considered before opting into cosmetic surgery. Now, I mentioned the word botched earlier. What does botched mean? I'm so glad you asked. When we talk about botched cosmetic surgery, we're digging into a topic that is very complex and emotionally charged. This term is broadly used to describe any cosmetic procedure that didn't go as planned, leading to results that are, to put it kindly, far beyond the patient's expectations, whether that be looking atrocious or serious medical complications. Serious medical complications include unexpected reactions to the anesthesia, like I mentioned in the risk section, which can range from mild allergic reaction to severe cardiovascular issues. Wide spectrum there. Infections are another risk, potentially leading to prolonged hospital stays and additional treatments. And then some of these other risks I mentioned in the risk section, so I'll just scarring, excessive bleeding, nerve damage, fluid buildup, all things that can come with medical complications. But we have to consider the reasons that complications can occur. If you're a smoker, You may face slower healing times and higher risk of complications. If you have a weakened immune system, this includes people living with HIV, they are more susceptible to infections. Unhealthy diet and lifestyle can severely impede the recovery process. This also includes poor circulation to the surgical area. And then the last two are if your BMI is 30 or higher, this is indicative of obesity and can increase the risk of complications such as wound healing or infections, issues just around post-surgical health. Diabetes, though, it's a condition that can affect the body's ability to heal, which can also complicate the recovery process. There are other complications and reasons for the complications to occur. I just thought these were the most interesting. I knew like a BMI would affect that slightly, but I didn't know at what extent. I didn't know that diabetes could complicate the recovery process, and I also didn't know that smokers could have a complicated recovery process due to blood flow. But, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? I was going to review and list some famous botched plastic surgeries, but it just felt rude to call them out. Like, so-and-so's face looks so ugly and gross, their plastic surgery is so bad, I can't believe they walk around looking like that. It felt mean, it felt rude, gross, icky, especially if it's how their face currently looks. It feels wrong to dog on appearance. Unless they're a bad person. If they're a bad person in their soul and just entire being, I think it's fair to call them ugly and disgusting and gross. I think we can I think we're allowed to call mean people ugly. But if they're not like genuinely evil and the devil in human form, I don't think we should call anybody ugly. But that's just me. Feel free to judge them on your own time. But the 30 minutes that we have together is a safe space for uglies. So that is plastic surgery, and those are the risks. What are some popular plastic surgery trends that we've seen? So lip filler, duh. The procedure of lip augmentation aims to create fuller and more luscious lips. The process can take as little as 30 minutes or upwards of 2 hours. Interestingly enough, lip filler has the potential to look quite natural now. However, the goal has kind of shifted now. I feel like people want their lips to look like they've had lip filler. If I say the word lip filler lips, do you know what that looks like? Do you see it in your brain? Lip filler lips. I feel like that's kind of the goal when people get lip filler now instead of like big lips. I think the goal now is, and I'm pretty much generalizing here. I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like lip filler lips are the goal when people go into the office, into the medical office. But I think when people are going for more of a natural look, I've personally been seeing on TikTok lip flips. I didn't add that in here, but because lip fillers have been a cultural phenomenon in the social media space since 2014? But the goal of wanting lip filler lips is such a stark contrast from the original mindset of wanting nobody to know you have lip filler, of denying it if anybody suspects you of having lip filler. Do you guys remember Trisha Paytas in her peak vlogging days where she would kind of just document her lip filler appointments? She would be in her car just sporting an ice pack. She would film them putting the numbing cream all over her lips and how huge her lips would be for the next couple of days. I don't know. That was like peak YouTube for me. Also, Kylie Jenner, the icon of plump lips, she initially denied getting any work done at all. And she kind of used her big lips to her advantage. She launched her own cosmetic line and brand with her Kylie lip kits in 2015, 2016, when the conversation around her big lips really peaked. At the time, she completely denied it, oh, I have big lips because I overdraw my lips and I use Kylie lip kits. Clearly that made that sell out, and nobody could get that even during the restocks. During the restocks, they sold out so quickly. They were sold out for weeks at a time. Kylie was in her bag. Kylie was in her bag, and it was all due to a lie. She now admits that she's had lip filler, and she praises it as being the best decision she could have made because her once small lips were her biggest insecurity. Me, I love a good big lip moment. That was the weirdest way I could have said that. I love overdrawing my lips just a wee little bit. It makes me feel like a Bratz doll in the best way possible. I like to take away my Cupid's bow because it makes me look and feel like a Bratz doll. Sometimes I think it looks a little bit unnatural, but I'm okay with that. Nobody gets close enough to my lips except for my fiance to notice, and homeboy doesn't notice. So I think we're chillin'. I think I'm allowed to do this. The next trend that we've seen is buccal fat removal. It's the sculpting of the cheekbones, essentially. It randomly, yet rapidly, gained popularity in late 2023. We saw people like Bella Hadid, Zoe Kravitz, Lea Michele, and, of course, one fifth of One Direction, Mr. Liam Payne. Buccal fat removal involves slimming the face by removing cheek fat. The result? More defined cheekbones and a sculpted appearance. A common critique of buccal fat removal is that it ages the individual who gets it. Yeah, it looks like they have been starved for weeks. It looks strange, but if it makes them feel good, sure, you do you. But I could see them getting some other type of procedure in the next 5 to 10 years, which tries to remove that, or not negates the result of the buccal fat removal, because as they age, they're going to age more rapidly, and nobody wants that. Okay, the next one I have is the BBL, Brazilian butt lift. It is fat grafted to your booty. It gained its massive spike of popularity in the 2010s when people like J-Lo, Nicki Minaj, and Kim Kardashian sported their big booties. I would argue to say Kim Kardashian is the biggest name in making the BBL a trend. Sure, it was popular way before Kim Kardashian, but I feel like everybody with over 10K Insta followers has a BBL, and that can be attributed to the Kardashian-Jenner clan. Off the top of my head, Kim has gotten one, Khloe has gotten one, Kylie has gotten one. In my opinion, that is just based off of vibes and speculation. I haven't actually looked that part up. Okay, and then the last one that I have for popular cosmetic surgery is a boob job, breast augmentation. Breasts have been the focal point of beauty standards forever, always. The limit does not exist. Procedure has remained popular for decades upon decades, enhancing confidence and ensuring bodily proportions. This is such a popular cosmetic procedure that I genuinely think, in my heart of hearts, everyone knows somebody who's had a boob job. Everyone knows somebody who's had a boob job. When I looked it up, 3% of the world's population has a boob job. Or was it 8? I didn't write that down because I was like, surely I'll remember that fact. I didn't remember that fact. 3 to 8% of the world's population has a boob job, but I feel like everybody knows at least one person. So some similarities that we see in this trend is idolizing the beauty that is found in women of color. Big butts, big lips, big breasts. We've taken that and colonized the full lips. We've colonized the big butts that look nowhere near natural. But we said, you guys can't have it. We're going to have it. And then once everybody has it, we're going to get rid of it because we're famous and billionaires and we have disposable income. So that is all I have for popular procedures, I did want to give an honorable mention to Ozempic. It's not a cosmetic surgery, but it is used for drastic physical changes. And the girlies were using and abusing this Ozempic left and right last year. It says it takes 4 to 8 weeks to start seeing results, but when I watched these people, it felt like it worked in the blink of an eye. Like 1 minute they looked this way, and then the next time they were seen out in public, they looked malnourished, which is essentially what they were. Well, that's cosmetic surgery. We talked about the intricate world of cosmetic surgery, exploring procedures from lip filler to BBL and buccal fat removal. We uncovered the transformative rewards, but also the inherent risks that accompany this decision. And ultimately, these decisions are made by the individual and the individual alone, or should be, at least. Your body, your choice. Let's say it louder for the people in back. Your body, your choice. We've kind of seen it all today. What is your favorite cosmetic surgery? Would you get cosmetic surgery? If so, what? I said I think I'm chillin', but I think if I did get a cosmetic surgery, my nose is a little crooked, but it's not noticeable enough for me to hate it every day. But if I stare at my face too long, I see it, and I hate it. I'll admit it. Nobody's perfect. I gotta work it again and again till I get it right. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed talking about cosmetic surgery with me. I am gonna go to the gym and do some 12-3-30, sweat my butt off. It's gonna be horrible, but I'll survive. I have the ability to move my body, so I should move my body. And that is the only thing keeping me going. Okay, if you liked this episode, feel free to follow us on our other forms of social media. We post on Instagram at MagnifiquePod. I post on Instagram at Gabrielle Forshee. I post on TikTok. Outfit of the days. Do we think TikTok's getting banned? What should I do about that? Okay, all of our links are in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week for winter trends and spring trends. Bye, guys.